Dear students, welcome to our online classes. I am Ravi Kumar Kyar, lecturer in computer science, gsipucmysuru College, MYSURU. Students, let us start our session today with a new chapter, that is chapter 11, arrays. The weightage of the chapter is 9 marks. You will get 1 mark 1 question, 3 marks 1 question and 5 mark 1 question. The weightage of the chapter is 9 marks. Now let us see what is an array. Array is nothing but a collection of objects, or we can also say that it is a collection of elements of same data type. So what is the meaning of data type here? So here we can have integer data type, means we can have integer array. For example, integer array, suppose this is, I can store the values in an array. For example, here I say 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. These are all called the elements of an array, and or it is nothing but collection of same data type. Here all the elements are of the data type int. So it is an integer array. Similarly, you can also have a character array where all the elements are of the data type character. We can have a character array. For example, here I can store the characters A, B, C, D and E. These are all the elements of the data type character. So what is an array? Array is nothing but a collection of objects or collection of elements of similar data type or of one data type. Now let us see, for example, here let A be an array of elements here A, these are the elements of an array, and here this is integer array. This is integer array where all the elements are of the data type integer. In this one, this is name of an array and these are all elements of an array. All these are called as elements of an array, and the A, this is name of an array. A is name of an array, and here these elements are stored in an array in definite order, and here the position of this array we are referring through index. The position of the elements of an array is referred by using index here. So the array index always starts with 0 here, and next index will be 1 and 2, 3, 4. In this example, always array index starts with 0. This is, we are refer the array elements through index, and here 0 is the index of first element. Next one is 1, 2, 3, 4. Here all the elements are stored in a definite order or in this order only, and here these are called as index of an array. In this example, the size equals, here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 elements in an array. The size of an array is 5. If I say element size is at 5, means that it can hold 5 values or 5 elements. In this example, and the index, if the array size is 5, the last index says 4. That is, suppose the n is, that is, if n is the size of an array and last index is n minus 1, that is 4. So the last index of an array is 4. So this is a concept of an array where the elements or values are stored in the computer memory in a definite order through arrays. I repeat students once again. Let us, for example, let A be the name of an array, and here these are all the elements of an array, and here these are index of an array, and n stands for size of an array. Size of an array indicates the number of elements to be stored in an array, and if the size is n, if the last index of an array is n minus 1. In this example, 4 is the last index of an array. Now let us see different types of an array. There are 3 types of an array. There are 3 types of an array. They are one-dimensional array, one-dimensional array, two-dimensional array, two-dimensional array, and next one is multi-dimensional array. Multi-dimensional array. Multi-dimensional array. So now let us see the definition of these 3 types of arrays. And here one-dimensional array is one-dimensional array means here the elements are accessed through one subscript. One subscript, it is referred as one-dimensional array. For example, if I say let A be a name of an array of type int, and here if I can say A equals 5. So here this is called a subscript. This is subscript of an array or size of an array. This is, in this example, A of 5. So this is only one subscript. So this is referred as one-dimensional array. And what is two-dimensional array? Here the elements are accessed through two subscripts. Through two subscripts. For example, let int data type B is name of an array, and here you can write 2, and 2 and 3. Here in this example, these two are referred as subscripts. Here there are 2 subscripts. Here there are 2 subscripts. It is referred as two-dimensional array. Next we see multi-dimensional array. What is multi-dimensional array? An array of n dimensions. N dimensions. Or in other words, we can say that it is array of array is referred as multi-dimensional array. It is one array inside another array. It is multi-dimensional array. Now let us discuss these different types of an array one by one. According to your syllabus, we have only one-dimensional array in detail. Now one-dimensional array. One-dimensional array. One-dimensional array, as already I had told you, it is the array where elements are accessed by only one subscript. Only one subscript. Declaration of an array. Declaration of an array. How do we declare an array in programming concept? Here Declaration A, the syntax is data type space user defined name with this bracket here, size and semicolon. Here, for example, int is the data type. For example, I can say A is name of an array, and here size is 5 and semicolon. So this indicates the one subscript, it is one dimensional array, and here int is a data type, A is user defined name or identifier, and the size indicates the number of elements can be stored in an array. Float data type, and here I can say AVG is average of size 5 and semicolon. In this example, float is a data type, AVG is a user defined name or identifier, and this is subscript, size is 5. So this is how we declare an array in programming. Next one is we have say how to initialize an array. Initialize of an array. Here, for example, int a of 5 equals. So this is the size is 5 here. It can hold only 5 values, and here 5 values. We have to use this floor bracket, and we enter the values 10, for example 20, 30, 40, 50, close the bracket with semicolon. So in this example, size is 5, name of an array is A, it holds only 5 values. So here all the values or elements are representing or initializing like this. Here comma is the delimiter. So here 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, there are 5 elements. So this is how we initialize the values. Suppose in the example, if the size is 5 and here we are not supposed to initialize for 6 elements, because that prompts with error. So as the size is 5, only we have to initialize only 5 elements in an array. And one more example, float average of 5 equals here 5, 70.1, 80, 80.02, 36.21, 28.12, 79.80, close the bracket with semicolon. If you look into this example here, this is average, data type is float, means it holds the decimal values. So all the elements of the data type float, we are supposed to enter or initialize with decimal numbers only or float data type only. And in this example, the size is 5. So here there are 5 elements. So this is how we initialize an array in programming. Next we will see how do we access the elements of an array. Accessing elements of an array. Elements of an array. For example, int a of 5. This is declaration of an array of data type int, name of an array is a, size is 5. So it holds 5 values, or it can store only 5 elements. Now we are accessing this through a looping structure, or that normally we use for loop. Here through for loop we are accessing cout enter array elements, and here endl. Next one is we are using for loop. For, here I am using int I. This is a variable, loop control variable, int I starting with 0, because array index always starts with 0. I less than 5 here and semicolon. 5 is the size of an array. In this example, it holds or it can store only 5 elements. The condition will be less than 5 and it is I plus plus. Open this bracket and here we have to make use of input statement. Cin A is name of an array and index is I and semicolon. I am closing this. So we are using this programming construct to access the elements of an array. Here I is the loop control variable and always the index starts with 0. Array index starts with 0 from the first element till the size of an array. Means in this example 5. So less than 5 means up to 4. So if you look at the index of this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the index of an array. So here index always start with 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the loop has to continue up to less than 5, that is up to 4. It cannot be less than or equal to 5 because 0 to 5 it becomes 6 elements because we have declared a size as only 5. So it should be less than 5 so that it holds 5 values from 0 to 4. So this is an index of an array. Next, Cin A of I. First time I equal to 0. Here A of 0 means the first element will be stored in the first index, that is A of 0. Here the index is here. Now how it's going to work now? Here first time it is I equal to 0. Cin A of 0. A of 0 means first index. For example, if this is an array with the 5 size is 5 index is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here whatever the values you are going to input, it will be stored in the first index. For example 10, it will be stored in the first index. Similarly, I value incremented by 1, it's become 2, it be incremented by 1, its I value becomes 1. So Cin A of 1. So whatever the values you are going to enter, it will be stored in the next index, that is 1. So similarly, it holds or it stores up to index 4, 5 elements. So this is how we access the elements of an array. Similarly, we can also access by using output statement. If we want to print an array, then we can make use of output statement here. For output, here for I equals to 0, I less than 5, I plus plus, and in the place of Cin, we have to write output statement, that is Cout, and here A, name of an array, I is the index, and we can have a backslash T, semicolon. So here, then close this. So here, this is an output statement to print. This is to print an array, and this is we are inputting the values into an array. So input statement and output statement. So this is how we access the elements of an array. Here accessing elements of an array through for loop. Now let us write a program to read the values into an array and print the same. Program to read values into an array and print the same. The program as usual starts with header files #include iostream.h #include conio.h void main, and here int a of 50 comma I comma n. I is for loop control variable, n is for the size. And here next step is we can make use of clear screen function. Next we can enter values into an array. Cout enter size, enter size, then we can use input statement cin n. Next one more message, cout enter array elements, enter array elements endl semicolon. Now we have to make use of for loop to access and print the elements. For I equals to 0 semicolon I less than n, the size I plus plus, here cin a of I semicolon, close this. This is the program statement to read the values into an array. Now we have to write one more for loop to print the same elements, that is cout elements are endl. Now we have to make use of for loop. For I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, here cout a of I, and here backslash t and semicolon. Next we have to close this loop. So this is a for loop to print the elements of an array. Now we have to close the program. After this we close the program with getch function semicolon. Now we have to close the main program here. So this is the main function opened here, and we have closed the function here. Now how the program is going to work now? Let us see the output of the same. It is declaration of an array a of 50. This is the size of an array. Loop control variable n is the size we are supposed to enter. So here first is going to display a message, enter a size. We have to mention cin n, size. For example, if we say n as size as 5. Next we get the message enter array elements, and here we get the message enter array elements. We get a message enter array elements. So we are supposed to enter values. Here the size is 5. We are supposed to enter 5 values. For example, I can say 10, 1 value, space 20, space 30, space 40, and space 50. So this is the input statement what you have used here. So then after this, next statement is cout elements are. So it's going to display here elements are. Next line, because the output statement is going to print all the elements of an array. So here it prints same values 10 space 20, 30 space 40 and space 50. So this would be the output of the program to read the values into an array and print the same. Students, let us see some more examples in my next session. Thank you very much.